health, and longevity. If you want to consume more plant-based foods, if you want to abstain from junk foods, if you want to consume fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and herbs, and avoid dead flesh, artificial flavors and colorings, sweeteners, anything that is unreal basically, purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El Aton, who has been a vegan 40 plus years. He will take you step by step on how to abstain from the junk foods, how to abstain from the dead flesh, the chicken, the turkey, the pork, beef, and all sorts of animal products. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, to eat more natural. Remember that the herbs are for the healing of the nations. Let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. Consume of every fruit-bearing and herb-bearing tree. Unto you it shall be for meat. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El Aton. Peace, health, and longevity.
All right, rise and shine, rise and shine. Hope everybody's doing great. Health is wealth, so take care of yourself. And today, I'm going to start off today by talking about our children and our grandchildren. Our children and our grandchildren aren't doing so well overall. This horrible food that American citizens have been consuming is doing damage to our children. For sure. And we got to do something about it. Because it's getting ridiculous. So everybody come on in and we'll start this conversation. Let's give everybody a few minutes to know we're here. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. People like myself, I try to do my best. Others, we try to do our best to help people eat better. It doesn't seem to be a concern for lots of American citizens. It's very sad. It's a very, very sad situation because when the bad health creeps up on them. They feel totally lost. At that point, they're at the mercy of the medical industry. And it's just all downhill because the medical industry, they make most of their money off of treating you after you sick. So the medical industry in the U.S. is not really based on prevention. It's not based on prevention. So uh, that's a problem. Lots of people feel it is somewhat of a drag or inconvenience on their fun. They feel like eating right uh, is not fun. And the reason they feel like that is because so many people eat poorly that if you eat right, you're the oddball. You're the oddball out. So nobody wants to be the oddball out because the majority rules and the majority eats horribly. And so trying to eat better is a serious problem. And if you do eat healthy, it will and can affect your dating and your love life. Farrell, do you think diabetes and cancer could be reversed with proper food? Uh, with diabetes, ooh, uh, I'm going to look it up right now to make sure I don't say anything wrong. Okay, let's see. Let's see what they say here. XYZ. Okay, let's see what they say. Can you reverse diabetes? We'll start with that first. While there's no cure for diabetes, type 2 diabetes can often be reversed, meaning blood sugar levels can return to normal range without medication. This is often get weight loss, often changes like diet exercise. That healthy habits are not maintained. Can kidney damage be reversed? And see, that's where we get into the problem. Uh, that's where we get into the problem, okay? Because diabetes can significantly affect your kidneys. It's the leading cause of kidney failure in the United States. High blood sugar levels, a hallmark of diabetes, can damage the tiny filters in your kidneys called nephrons over time. This damage, known as diabetic nephropathy, can lead to kidney disease and eventually kidney failure. And that's the problem, okay? If you got diabetes, how much damage have you done to the kidneys? Kidney failure. I have never heard of it being reversed. People have to go to dialysis because the kidney cleans your blood, XYZ. And when your kidney fails, now you gotta go to dialysis and put a needle in your arm, two needles, and one needle, it leads to a hose that sucks all your blood out, runs it through the dialysis machine, cleans it, and put it back in. And you got to do that like 3 times a week. You got to go and change all the blood in your body. It's a horrible experience. Horrible. So, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's what I say. I say, don't roll the dice with your body. I'm 67, and your ability to heal decreases as you age, too. So if you're 20 years old, that's a big difference than 45. If you're 45 years old in your 40s and you have certain health problems, your age might be 45, but your body might be 60, 70 in the inside because you haven't took any care of it. But but diabetes can be reversed. It just depends on if it's type 2. It depends on how bad it is. It can be reversed, but you got it. But it'll come. You have to. You can't like treat it to get better and then go back to your old ways. The rest of your life have to be the new way, basically. And XYZ is really sad. Um, when you are like myself and I've been a vegan now for 47 years, going on 48 years next year. And, you're around people and you tell them. And so you might talk to it about somebody like, and so let's say I'll talk to somebody, it's 2028, 2029, 2008, right? It's 2008, 2009, right? You're around your friends, you're talking to your friends. A lot of times, Like I was running. I run a record label, so we'd be on the road, and when we're on the road, we stop to get something to eat. I got the rappers with me. I might have Uncle Mike with me, or we might be in the town doing a promo, and we stop. We go by to get something to eat. Of course, my meal is different than everybody else's, and sometimes that raises a conversation. And this could be 2008, and nobody really listens. Nobody listens. And then time goes by. 2000, like now, 2025. And one of those same people, you go to their Instagram, and what do you see? This. This is a good friend of mine. I put him on Something to Smoke To too. I met him right before we did the second album. He did poetry. I told him I want to get your poetry on there. We started hanging out and we became family. It's a white dude, Uncle Mike. Just about 6, 7 days ago, not too long ago, his page pops across, and this is what I see. I know I've been distant for the last 8 months. No, I've been battling a lot of battles, from a few strokes to heart attacks. My life has been a battle to stay alive. 2 days ago, had a heart attack. Today I'm undergoing left side coronary angiogram. Wish me luck. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty spooked. No, if I've been distanced, this is what I'm going on. This is what is going on. Please don't take it personally. And no, I'm trying to get back in the game of life. It's just been a rough road as of late. And those type of things you know, make me feel not so good. You feel sorry for him. You feel angry. It's like, I told you. I told you. He's in his 50s. I'm almost 70. Come on. He's already got a colostomy bag from serious problems, all from consuming garbage. He has 2 sons. What do you think they eat? Garbage. His son's mother, what do you think she eats? Garbage. Because a good 93% of our food in the grocery store is garbage. There's no good food in there. It's a little bit better in Canada and Europe, and not much, but a little bit. But in the United States, we have an overweight, sick president that is getting all kind of medical treatment behind the scenes that you don't know about to keep him going. If he wasn't rich, he would have been unalive. Trump, he is not in any good shape. He's just stubborn and he's trying to put on a good presidential look, but he's sick. Anybody that takes care of their health and no health knows that President Trump is sick, horribly sick. He just got a lot of pride and don't want to let anybody know. So this sickness has now affected the young people, our children. We're looking between Mother Nature and the weather, between the weather and the health. We are looking at a very uh, horrible future. There's no doubt about that. Biblical. We're headed to the type of stuff you read about when you read about Moses and all that. Anybody could see it uh, if they care, but they don't. They just want to party until everything collapses. So now it's affected the children. The U.S. children's health has declined over the last 17 years. The children are so sick, it doesn't make any sense. Pure negligence on the part of the parents. The parents, I don't know. I have another YouTube channel and I had to move all of my health information to this channel where I could get a whole new audience because that audience, they don't care anything about health or nothing like that. They don't find that interesting. They like gossip, stuff like that, tumultuous stuff, you know. Thanks for the support. XYZ, rest of y'all, yeah, hit the super chat. Support the channel. Much appreciated. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe too. So I moved over here where I could build a whole new audience with that. And I won't be talking about health on my other channel because it's just a waste of time. Over here, I could build a whole new world. You know, I could build a whole new thing. You know, this is where, you know, if you have relatives that don't feel well, you know, subscribe them to this channel. Subscribe them to this channel. Show them how to get in the chat. They might be able to ask me questions that I can help them with. But eventually, I'm going to have doctors and experts in the chat that will, you know, try to add some professional advice. Because that's where we're headed. And you know, all our elders, you know, both of my parents are gone. My father, he made it till he was in his 80s. The last 2 or 3 years wasn't that good. Dementia and stuff. You could see where the food had deteriorated. You can see where the stuff had went to his brain. You know, I'm not going to go into details, but things in your food will go up your spine. There will end up being parasites and stuff in your brain if you're not careful. So many in your stomach, in your gut. My mother, she passed away from cancer of the uterus. Hers was basically, I believe, products. I think me and my sister, we should have sued the powder company that made the baby powder. Johnson and Johnson, I think they got sued. I think we should have sued too. But, cancer in the uterus is because of poisonous products. And there's no way you can be heightened over toxic products unless you get a heightened sense of the food. The food will save your whole family and save your whole life, because once you get aware of the toxins and how bad the food is, then you start looking at everything else. And you'll start looking at all these plastics and Teflon and all these chemicals. And you're like, why you got chemicals on my carpet? Why you got chemicals? You know, why you selling me an air fryer made out of plastic? You'll start looking and saying, you know what? They just trying to take my money. Because any fool know you can't make no air fryer to get hot. Yeah, plastic. I don't know what's going on. How you gonna have a plastic air fryer? So now it's affecting the youth. The youth are really, really, really sick, sicker than ever. And so now people are panicking because they're saying the health of the children been declining since 2007. One of the problems, obesity. Obesity rates have significantly increased, with nearly 40% of children ages 2 to 19 being classified as obese. Just think about that. Almost half of the children are classified as obese. I tell this story a lot. I was driving, I lived in the south suburbs. Or I might not have been living out there, but I was out there. And I was driving west to go to Bank of America. And I got to a spot where there was a school on this side and I think a park and some homes on this side. And the lady comes out with the thing, the crossing guard lady, and stops me. And the children were headed to the school. Looked like they had been on some type of field trip, walking somewhere. And this is just crazy, right? So I'm just sitting in my car. I can't do nothing but look at the children because I'm the first car. So they're walking in front of my car. I'm looking at them, but I'm not really looking at them. I'm just seeing children. So I'm not like staring at no particular child or anything. But after like two groups went by, I started noticing they was fat. A lot of them. To the point I started counting them. I started counting late. So let's say it was like 4 classrooms of children, maybe 100. Maybe 120 or something, maybe more than that. But I counted a good 60 to 80 overweight children. Like every group in the street, when the children get in the street, only so many could get in the street and count. Every group, which would be 2, 4, 6, 8, like 20, 24 children from this side of the street there. Every group of 24 had anywhere from 8 to 12 overweight children. I kid you not. I've never seen that many chubby and fat children in my life. It was just a whole lot of children that are 100% not physically fit. These was young children, like sixth graders, maybe seventh. You might could push it to eighth grade, but I think more like sixth or seventh graders. Fat. A lot of them. I am not exaggerating. You know how many it had to be for it to catch my attention? I'm not thinking about these children. I'm trying to let them get across so I could go to the bank. That's how bad it is. That was so obvious. And it was so unbelievable. I started counting. And this was some years ago. This was this had to be like 7 years ago. 7 to 8 years ago. I wish I could remember what I was out there for. Then I can know exactly how long ago it was. It was ridiculous. As a matter of fact, it might have been a little longer than that because I probably was at my father's house. He had probably passed away. So I was probably at my father's house. I don't remember the date he passed away. I need to look that up. Nevertheless, the children were horrible looking. Horrible. So imagine 8 years and they still like that. That means there's more of them like that. That means the ones I've seen are bigger, fatter, and there's no way chubby children are healthy. If you're a parent and you got chubby children, what are you doing? Your child's going to have low self-esteem, not going to feel good about their natural body, going to have to overcome not feeling good with their body shape, which means now they're going to overdo it, right? Now they're going to be fat and proud and sick. So obesity rates have significantly increased, with nearly 40% of children ages 2 to 19 being classified as obese, according to the National Institute of Health. Chronic diseases. Children are more likely to experience chronic conditions like anxiety and depression, with a 15% to 20% increase compared to a decade ago. Mental health. Mental health issues, including depression and loneliness, are also on the rise. Mortality. This is just totally ridiculous. I ain't gonna lie. U.S. children are also passing away at a higher rate compared to children in other high income nations. Specifically, a study found that from 2010 to 2023, children in the U.S. were 80% more likely to die. 80%. Functional limitations. There's also an increase in functional limitations among children, meaning they are more likely to experience limitations in their daily activities. They can't do nothing. They can't play baseball, basketball, jump rope, do any of that stuff. They can't function. They can't walk around much. They can't run and play. Physical symptoms. Physical symptoms like difficulty sleeping have also increased. Lack of physical activity. Children are engaging in less physical activity and spending more time on screens contributing to the decline of overall health. Basically, just destroying the youth, just destroying them. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and contribute to the channel. Okay. Hit that super chat, Cash App, or PayPal. Look at this. Top 10 U.S. children health concerns. Percent rated as big problem in 2013. This was in 2013. The problem was childhood obesity, drug abuse, smoking and tobacco use, bullying, stress, alcohol abuse, child abuse, teen pregnancy, internet safety, and depression. 2013. Like 12 years ago. They been know the children was messed up. 2023 top 10 child health concerns. Overuse of devices, screens, social media, same thing. See how they play with you? See how they play? See? Health concerns. They feel like social media is a health concern. You see? Playing in your faces. Because overuse of devices and social media is the same thing. Because you're using social media on devices. Internet safety, same thing. All 1, 2, or 3 is the same thing. Depression and suicide, right, is number 4, which is really would only be the second one. Bullying is number 5. Stress and anxiety is number 6. And look at unhealthy eating. See? Unhealthy eating is number 1. Unhealthy eating. Healthy eating gets rid of the depression and wanting to have the suicide. It's going to get rid of the stress and the anxiety. Unhealthy eating is going to give you energy, so you want to play and move around. You ain't going to sit on no screen like that. You're going to exercise. If you're eating food that's not healthy, food that don't have no nutrition, it's going to cause you to sit around. You ain't going to have no energy to move. If you're eating high energy food, you can't sit down. Ladies, sometimes we'll just be running around either 3 things happen. You haven't eaten, so you're on a fast. You ate a bunch of vegetables or fruit. Right? Right? You either have it and fruit. That's all it can be. And that's why you got that energy. The third thing is you ate sugar. You ate something sweet. You ate a bunch of sugar and you're on a sugar high. Those are the 3 things. You ate something that got white sugar and corn syrup or something in it. See, the fruit's going to give you fructose sugar. So that's going to hype you up too. But the fruit's going to give you other nutritional value. But the other sugars, they're going to have you, you know what I mean? And the way they do the sugars is when they put the sugars in cake and stuff, the sugar wants to hype you up, but the actual dough and cake slows you down. So you won't really get the physical activity. So your children, they get like a brain rush, like a fidgety rush, but they won't get like a muscle rush to get up and do nothing. So your son to sit there and eat all that stuff to turn to sugar, Doritos and all this candy and stuff, and be on the game long hours, it'd be overweight. But he's not going to have the right type of energy like fructose or like the vitamins and nutrients you get from vegetables to actually get up and move his body. So if they figured out how to give you a fake charge that will kind of keep you up, but it won't make you exercise. That's done with adults with coffee. They can give you coffee and they sweeten it. So you got the caffeine, you got the sugar in there, but it's really no nutrition that's going to make you get up and do anything. So we got childhood obesity. And look, Hispanic and black children are more likely to be obese. And you see the Hispanics, then the blacks, then whites, and then others. Because white people are more active than everybody else. A part of their culture in the United States is walking, jogging, running, getting outside, volleyball. So if you come to Chicago, it's Lake Michigan goes up the whole Chicago. And then you got the south side where the blacks live, and let's say I'm downtown. And so if you go and you ride a bike from the south side and you ride, you observe the foundational black Americans and other blacks at the beach. They'll be chilling, parked, sitting in their car, on a blanket, chilling, maybe sitting on the lake, looking at the lake. You know, they might be cooking out, barbecuing, having a picnic. As you come and you get about this close to downtown, where you start seeing more white Americans and Asians and different people, you're going to, right away, you're going to see bikes. Right away, you're going to see a lot of people riding bikes. You're going to see the basketball courts at some of the beaches, them playing basketball, which you'll see a little bit of that in the black neighborhood too. But you'll see volleyball. You'll see rollerblading. You'll see skateboarding. You will see walking, swimming. You will see a high level of exercise. And so when I ride my bike, when I go out, well, I don't have a bike. When I rent one from the city and go bike riding, when I'm riding in the white area, I'm passing a whole lot of bikers. If I ride and get down in the black area, I don't be passing no bikers like that. And when I'm downtown where everybody's at, I pass a black biker every blue moon or jogger like every blue moon. In the European community in Chicago, there's a tradition to get up early and work out and go home and take a shower and go to bed. I mean, go to work. So with the white Americans, that's why they're not so high on that chart, because a part of their culture is to get up and exercise before you go to work. And so if you go to any workout facility and you have paid membership, If you get there by around 6 in the morning, 6 and 7 in the morning, it's packed. Everybody come in there and work out real quick. Then they got to get home and change and go to work. Because that's a tradition. And if you go to these workout gyms, that's not a big thing in the black community. Workout gyms, the LA Fitnesses and all of them, they make more money in the white areas than they do in the black areas. They can have more LA Fitnesses in Chicago, and because Chicago's huge, so they can have a few of them. Plus, they have private workout facilities and stuff like that. And so when the parents work out, and the parents eat salads and a little conscious of making sure they eat balanced meals, the children do that. But still, when I stopped at that school, them children was white. And they was overweight. Seriously. Now, I don't know about black children. I would have to go to a school and look. I think black youth, I think they stay in shape and run around more when they get outside younger and start getting big in like 7th and 8th grade in high school. But I can't say for sure. I'd have to look. But I know for sure out at that school with all them white children, they was horrible looking. They was totally out of shape. Another thing too, their percentages is more whites, and so they could have a lower percentage and still have more fat people than you because 8% of 260 million is still way more than 8% of 50 million. Children are not, well, the thing is, children still get into sports. The difference is, Derek, is there's not enough children for them to play sports. The men aren't having babies. So when you don't have any babies, your children don't have anything to do. If you go on the block and they've only got 5 children on the block, they can't do anything. Whereas when I was coming up, it's 20, 30 children on the block. Just the numbers of children cause you to play. So when I was coming up on our block, there was so many children that several games would be going on. These girls is jumping rope. These girls is doing hopscotch. These dudes are playing running bases, running up and down. You know, we playing tag, we playing it, we playing Mother Man, we playing hide and seek because it's a bunch of children. That's going to be more activity. When I had my children and I took my youngest on that same block where I first started going live and let her go outside, she was outside with one girl. It was just 2 of them out there. To the point where I looked outside to check on her and she was out there by herself. I said, "Where are your friends?" She said she went in the house to use the restroom. I said, "Okay, come in." I stopped letting her go outside because I realized with only 2 of them out there, if a girl go use the restroom, somebody could kidnap my daughter The girl come out, gonna think my daughter went in the house, and it could be how long before we realize she's missing. Whereas when I was coming up, it would have been it was impossible to kidnap somebody. How? There's 15 kids out here. There's a bunch of children out here. And when there's a bunch of children, guess what? The front doors is open in the screen. There's adults out there watering the grass, watching the children. But you don't have to watch the children because nobody's got their house sealed off because it's a bunch of children and they know the children got to run in and out. So you just have the screen door closed. You don't close the other door. Nobody's going to come break in or nothing. Nobody's going to commit a crime in front of 20, 30 children, 15 children. So the more children you got, the more they play. The less children you got, the less they play. If me and my sister go over my daddy's brother's house with his 3 children, we're going to play more than they can play. They can only play so much. There's only 3 of them. 5 can play more than 3. Right? Even in the house, having that one baby, that ain't it. That's not good. I would tell women, have at least 2 close together. And then if you don't want to have no more, fine, but have at least 2. 2 is easier than 1, better than 1, by far. 1 child is horrible, okay? Your child is lonely, doesn't have no companion, doesn't have nobody to play with. Your child's going to be a weirdo, okay? Have no social skills at all. You learn your social skills from your brother and your sister. Duh. So you have 1 child, that child's not going to get any physical activity. When we would come home from school, me and my sister, we would find stuff to do. You know what I mean? Because there's 2 of us. Less. So we, but 1 child, what I would have did without my sister there? How would I have fun? Who can I hide from? Who can chase me? How can I run? Who can I play tag with? Who can I talk to? That would have just been years and years of me just sitting around. That would have been horrible. To be an only child. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. But that's another story. Parents are selfish. They're selfish. They'll come over and say, yeah, but for me, what I got out of it worked out great for me. But what about your child? And so that's got a lot to do with why the children is sick, because it's a bunch of selfish parents. They rather have fancy cars than a baby. They think a car in a house is more valuable than children. Totally ungodly group of people. Ain't no way you trade your children for no material things. It's ridiculous. I would never trade my children for a higher status of living. Ain't no way. You might. And that's why the children is sick. They ain't got nothing to do. 1 in 4 children age 5 to 17 years old are overweight or obese. Speak to an exercise professional and find out how they can help your child feel healthy and active through exercise safety. You see, this proved my point. They're telling you to go find an exercise expert to get your child to move around. Well, if they had brothers and sisters, they would already be moving around. This is single children information for people with only 1 child. Look, how they can help your child. It doesn't say how they can help your children. Just read it for yourself. They telling you who they talking to. Speak to an exercise professional and find out how they can help your child. Like how they can just help my sister. There's no me. Or how they could just help me. There's no my sister. Help your child. Where back when I was growing up, it would have said, help your children. It would have said children. There's no way it would have said child. What do you mean, child? Child? Which one of them? I mean, all you got to do is look and you'll see the Babylon system. You know, the Babylon system. That people have sold themselves out to the Babylon system. Sold their souls. They're like soulless. And now the children are suffering. Complications of childhood obesity, lungs, liver, kidney, knees, legs, feet, back, pancreas, stomach, heart, head. They be having hip pain, knees be having arthritis, legs messed up because too much weight on the bone structure. Children under 18 have asthma, 77%. And this is old. This is 2018. I guarantee you that number's probably 10, 11%. It's 2025. It's sad. It's real sad. I ain't gonna kid you. The health of U.S. children has worsened steadily from 2007 to 2023, with higher mortality and more chronic physical, developmental, and mental health conditions, warned a report released by JAMA. Researchers led by Christopher B. Forrest, MD, PhD, with Children's Hospital of Philadelphia in Philadelphia, analyzed data using mortality statistics from the U.S. and 18 comparator high-income nations from the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, 5 national surveys, and electronic health records from 10 pediatric health systems. They found that from 2007 to 2022, infants born in the U.S. were 78% more likely to die when compared with their counterparts in other high-income countries. 78%, almost 100%. 78% more likely to die. Among key findings of the analysis are, as of 2022, mortality rates for U.S. infants and 1 to 19-year-olds were 1.78 and 1.8 times higher, respectively, than for those in other OECD countries. The 2 causes of death for infants 12 months or younger in the U.S. with the largest increased risk of OECD countries were prematurity, related risk, and sudden unexpected infant death. The 2 causes of death from 1 to 19 years old with the largest increased risk over OECD countries were firearm-related incidents and motor vehicle crashes. A child in the U.S. in 2023 was 15 to 20% more likely to have a chronic condition than a child in the U.S. in 2011. 15 to 20% more likely to have some type of chronic condition. Obesity rates for 2 to 19-year-olds in the U.S. increased from 5% in 1974 to 19% by 2017 and 2018. That's like a fifth of them, a fifth of the children, right? Like a fifth increase. 19% is 20% is a fifth. Depression symptoms, feeling sad and hopeless, increased from 26% prevalence in the 9th to 12th grades in 2009 to 39.7%. Loneliness feelings. That's because weirdo parents just having one child. Yeah, they lonely. Your mommy and daddy's a weirdo. Loneliness feelings among U.S. 12 to 18 years old rose significantly from 20.2% in 2007 to 30.8%. That's because these parents, they cheap. They want to have one baby. They're trying to save money. They rather buy other stuff. They don't have strong relationships. They're not good husbands and wives. So you can't be good parents if you're not a good husband and wife. And even if they break up, the co-parenting is not really that good. Too many males are going to prison, so daddy can't do nothing. Too many women are jumping from man to man. STDs is up. AIDS is up. So it's a mess. Basically. I try to tell people they don't listen. Like, have some babies. Why aren't you having any babies? Why aren't you having children? You got to at least have 2 children. You cannot just have a baby sitting up in the house by themselves. Like, some of this seems like it would be common sense. I don't know. Same thing. The health of U.S. kids has declined significantly since 2007. They're going to read the same story from JAMA. It's crazy. Seriously. My mentality about children has changed big time in the past year. If I can get 6 children, bring them on. I hear you. I mean, you don't, the main thing is you might only want to have a couple. That's on you. But have them close together. Don't have no baby. Wait no long time, have another one. Now, the big kid got to be your babysitter. So, have them close. A year apart, 2 years apart, if you're smart. Have them close. Ladies, if you want to not keep having babies a long time, have 2 close, then quit. I talked to a lady the other day. She pregnant. She got a little baby. He like barely 1 and she pregnant again. And she was down out. I told her, girl, this is a blessing. You don't know how much work this baby is going to save you. She said, Fer, are you serious? I'm saying, I'm telling you, you just gave yourself less work. She like, oh, I'm over here depressed. I'm thinking there's more work. I'm like, no, it's only going to be a little more work while they're a little. As soon as that first baby go to school, it's going to be less work. When they both go to school, you ain't got to worry about the little one because the big one going to be the protector. When they come home, They're going to keep each other occupied. They ain't going to be all in your face. You ain't going to have to run behind them. They also snitch on each other. So they'll tell to keep the other one out of trouble. And it get easier and easier. And by the time that oldest one get in like the 5th grade on through, it's a breeze. It's a breeze. The younger one gonna have life, gonna have it made because they got a big brother or big sister. Everybody gonna know them because they know their big brother and big sister. They're gonna be superstars. Going to school is easier. You can leave them at home. Once one of them is 12 or 13, whatever the age is, to be old enough to stay on by yourself, when that one get that age, you can just go do what you gotta do. So all the way from the young teens all the way through high school, you got it made in the shade. My mother had it made because it was me and my sister. She didn't have to work that hard. We looked out for each other. It was way easy. My auntie only had my cousin. It was way harder. She used to have to drop him off over there where we was at. My mama couldn't leave me in the house by myself. No, that would have been a disaster. She can't leave my sister in the house by herself. That's going to be a disaster. Because even though you're both in the house, you go different places and do stuff. But you can always kids always check on each other every so often. You go in there and see your sister doing something crazy, you're able to stop her. Ooh, I'm going to tell mama. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. I don't know what nobody told you. And it's not that much more expensive. That's nonsense too, considering all the food Americans throw away. Feeding 2 children is no different than feeding 1. That is a lie, okay? That is a lie. It don't cost that much more. People be exaggerating. Really, they do. They be exaggerating. They be exaggerating. And people say, well, what about if they go to private school and they got to buy books? When your son go his freshman year and buy books, do your daughter do the next kid need books? No. They're going to use their brother's books. Duh. When the oldest one can drive, do you got to drop off the youngest one? No. Their brother or their sister drop them off. Who dropped my sister off? Me. Who picked my sister up? Me. Who did everything for her? Me. My mother didn't have to do that much. When it comes to cleaning up the house, who y'all think cleaned up the house? Me and my sister. My mother had to do some stuff, but not as much as if you don't got no children. We had chores. My daddy didn't hardly have to empty no garbage. I had to empty it. My mama didn't have to vacuum. My sister vacuumed. And my mama didn't have to cook. Once we in the 7th, 8th grade, mommy ain't got to cook. We making sandwiches, we cooking. What? Mommy ain't got to cook like that. Mommy got to cook for little kids. Kids grow up fast. Not only that, they help mama. They help mama and daddy. My daddy didn't have to go out and cut the grass and rake the leaves by himself. Guess who was out there? Every yard work he had to do went zippy zip because it was me out there. He rake them in the pile. Guess who got to put them in the bag? He don't got to rake them and put them in the bag. All he got to do is rake them. I'll put them in the bag. We be done like that. Bam, bam's over. Don't let them make you think that your children. My father was the youngest of 13. My grandfather's farm did well because he had help. The man next door only had one child. They were starving. You better listen. So our children got asthma. Our children are sick. The health is declining of the young people. And it's a shame. It really is. Nobody can help them because the adults have fallen astray. The adults are getting sick and leaving medical expenses or just taking the homes, not able to pass the homes down because of medical expenses. All of that. Health is taking a lot of money away from us. A lot of money. Because the health of our children is declining. And that money, that sickness money, that's what's going to send you to the poorhouse. It's better to spend the little bit of extra money you spend getting apples and grapes and stuff. Ain't nothing compared to the doctor bill and the hospital bill. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That little extra money you spend for good plant-based food and fruits and vegetables is pennies compared to doctor's visits. I'm telling you. Eating healthy, plant-based, vegan lifestyle is cheaper than eating trash by far. No comparison. It's cheaper and there's more economical benefits because who can make the most money? Somebody that's healthy till they're 90 and 100 or somebody that's sick and pass away in their 50s? Which family can make the most money? Anybody that know about money know if you're trying to hit a lick, you're trying to hit a business to make money, the more opportunities you got to try, the greater your chance of getting rich, which means the healthier you are and the longer you live, the more opportunities you have to get rich. While other people have to hurry up and get rich because they're going to start getting sick in their 40s. If you take care of yourself, you can still be rich by retirement because you're healthy. And health is wealth. It doesn't say wealth is health. And this is something I try to teach all the time. Health is wealth. But they know people don't understand what that means. They think it's just a saying. No, it's true. You can't make no money if you ain't healthy. You can't. Bad health affects your income, affects your money. Because look, we say health is wealth, right? The healthcare industry is wealthy. The healthcare industry is wealthy. They're wealthy from you not taking care of your health. They make a fortune from you being unhealthy. You being unhealthy is great for the medical industry. They love it. Look at this. They don't know, but it's still interesting. I just asked AI, how many doctors in the U.S. are vegan? It says while a precise number is difficult to pinpoint, surveys suggest that a higher percentage of physicians than the general population follow a vegan or vegetarian diet. A survey of over 1,000 physicians found that 5% identify as vegan and 11% as vegetarian. This is considerably higher than the estimated 2 to 3% of the general population who identify as vegan. So more doctors and physicians and doctors are vegans and vegetarians than the general public. What y'all think about that? I got to do a whole live on that. I didn't know that. Interesting. That's not interesting. That's interesting with a capital sting. Man, listen. What else do you need to see? That tells you that the people in the medical industry, they know. And they surveyed 1,000. They surveyed 1,000 doctors, 1,000 physicians. Boy, that's deep right there. I gotta do a live on that. Nobody don't know that. Nobody knows that. Wow. Wow. I knew it though. I knew it. I knew it. It only makes sense. One reason they would be vegans and vegetarians because they read medical reports. And more medical reports are coming out that are totally against ultra processed foods. More and more medical reports are coming out talking about processed meats. More and more medical reports are coming out talking about meat in general, not necessarily being the healthiest choice to consume. That's crazy. I'm going to talk about that today. I'm not going to even let that. I'm going to talk about that today. So listen, let's help these children. Let's help these children. And let's turn it around. You don't need rocket scientists to tell you that fruits and vegetables are good for you, nuts and grains, seeds. You really don't need anybody. That's just basically would be common sense, I would think. I would think that you would think that fruits and vegetables would be better than cheese. I would think you would think that things that come from nature that you don't have to make would always be better than what we make. So let's turn it around. Let's eat better. Let's take better care of ourselves so that we don't have to go through a lot of unnecessary health situations. Right now, I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube. It's just famous person after famous person, health issues, left and right, left and right, left and right. All of your celebrities, left and right, health issues, health issues. So let's turn it around. All right. Thanks for watching. Make sure you support the channel. All right. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, send it to anybody you know that's having health problems. And try to talk the young women into having a couple babies. Tell them it's not going to be as hard as they think. And if you know somebody that's getting married and stuff, tell them, have them babies close together. The longer you wait, the more headache you're putting on the older one. You're messing up the older one's life. The older one can't be free. If they close together, they pretty much going to be always doing the same things. So it's not going to affect the older one. But if you got a son, he's 7 to 8, now you got a new baby. That doggone son, he got to put up with the baby too much. Whereas if he was 7, and his little brother was 6 or 5.5, man, or little sister 5.5, it'd be a lot better for the child and for you. But feed these children right, take care of these children. Because we have a situation where these children is getting diabetes and everything, pre-diabetic and everything. It's really bad, y'all. It's really not no joke. Like pre-diabetes is like ravishing the youth. Okay? Don't let nobody fool you. These babies is out here getting sick because of the lack of competence. Because of the lack of competence, the babies out here getting sick, pre-diabetic. Next thing you know, these babies going to be at dialysis centers and ain't going to have no kidneys. Real talk. Okay, follow Vegan Intel on everywhere, all right? 1.